Hi, everybody. This is Abril,
Hi, I'm Joanne.
and welcome back to the Greek Time Podcast.
So, our topic today is: has our sorority changed us in different ways, physically, mentality, and academically wise? So, for me personally, it helped me out a lot because one of our pillars are academic excellency. I know I wouldn't say I was bad at academics, but I would say that I wasn't the best because generally from last semester or when I was in the process, I would never have like all my classes as A's. I would have like A's, B's, well, mostly B's, I would say, but I would say from last semester I had straight up A's and I was really proud of myself. And I feel like joining my sorority helped me put into that way because we're very, how do I explain? We have our academics as our top priority when it comes to that. Like, we do study groups. We have a person, I think it's vice president, if I'm right, that gets to look at our grades to see where we can do our point average and where we're struggling in. Basically, kind of a person that double checks us to see where we're going and how we're doing the classes. If we're like falling a little bit behind, she talks to us one on one. It's like, hey, do you need like any resources for that class that you need to figure out what you need to do? Like if I'm taking anatomy or English, she's like, okay, this is the right site that we have that you can do an appointment. If you don't know how to do it, I can actually help you. Um, Generally, I feel like that has helped me out a lot because I have a big problem with procrastination. So I do a lot of
Me
things.
too.
I do a lot of things last minute or like the day of, and I'm like, oh no. But like when we do like study times, like a group study, like we even like all of us get together and we study together. And then I have some sisters who actually have exactly the same courses because we're all in the same majors, and we help each other out to study. I'm like, okay, this is what we're studying, because I know I had a sister last semester, Jess, that we both had anatomy online together, and legit we will get together and I'm like, okay, so this is what we have to study. Like, how are you doing with this class? And she's like, I hate this chapter that we did. I was like, okay, it's not just me who's not understanding it. I feel like generally overall, academically wise, I strived the most when I got into this sorority for sure. I said, I would say physically, um, I would say I'm more outspoken than how I used to be, because for me, I would generally be a person that only talks to two people, or like it's me, my boyfriend, and then a couple girls that I knew from like my freshman year, and that's it. And it was really really bad because I would just sit in my dorm and just like watch people outside, and I'm like, dang. I was like, look at those group of friends out there. That could be me, but I would rather stay in the dorm. But like now, like I have a group of people, I have a group of sisters actually that I like to hang out, even though it's not like a social event or it's not like a planned thing. It's like we grab our stuff and we're like, we see each other and we're like, okay. And I was like, I see you. And they were like, you know what? You want to get some food? And then it's a whole like little separate date that we do. Like we call it sister date. I don't know if you guys call it sister dates over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, like you said, you can always bond over food.
Exactly, bro. Ugh, we need to go though, for sure.
Hey, I'm
Um,
always down for the ride.
exactly. But we always do like unofficial sister dates that I always love, and I think if I didn't join a sorority or my particular sorority, I wouldn't able be the person that I could do that. For sure, like I guess I blossom in a way. And mentality wise, I think it goes exactly the same way as physically, because I feel like personally, when you go through the process and when you're in like in a chair for vice president, president, like all of that, or just being in the sorority generally, your personality is going to change either or. It's just the people that you're around you that blossom you to a different person that you wouldn't. It's like a better version of yourself that you wouldn't expect to have or like see out. I guess it's like part of growth as well. So yeah, yeah, that's how I would take it as.
Nice. Okay. For me, I would say, so we said first, academically wise. definitely has helped out. Like you said, we having like little study dates with like different sisters. I remember one time me and one of my sisters, shout out to Diana if you're out there. We literally stayed in the school library. I think we were staying there. I think we got there around like I got there around like 7ish, and she was already there, and we didn't leave until like maybe 4, like 3 in the morning. No, it was like no, it was like 4 or 5. 'Cause we were singing songs about like different time zones, like that song like 12 o'clock in the morning, and so we were over here just like making jokes about it. So definitely it's helped out with staying more focused about like studying. 'Cause I know sometimes I'd be forgetting to study. I'd be like, "Oh, I have this to do, this, that." So I always forget, and I'm like, "Oh, wait, let me go study." So it's always nice to be able to have someone out there to be able to like, "Hey, I gotta study for this. Can you help me out?" Or like, gives you kind of like motivation.
Mhm.
Um, what do you call it? And then mentally slash like physically, I would guess I can say it taught me a lot more. How would I say it? Like, so with, like, as I've gone, I guess, like, voicing more my opinions about different things just because, like, I'm very, like, if I guess if you know me, I'm very, like I'm kinda, like, on the back corner. I'm always, I'm always, like, kinda listening to things, like, "Oh, okay, I'll help out here," but the sororities put me into different positions where, like, "Okay, now you have to take charge of this group, or you have to take charge of this opportunity." So it taught me to be like, "Okay, it's time for me to, let me be, like, a good leader, out here, I have to voice my opinions. I can't just be back here like, 'Oh, okay, yeah,'" So, I would say that, also too, I have a tendency people always say, like, I'm too nice, and so, like, I don't really, like if there's something going on, I kinda just, like, don't say anything, and so, like, with these positions I've been in, I've had to, like, okay, like, let me put the niceness away and, like, try to, be firm and, like, know, like, how to direct or, like, reassess, like, whatever's going on. So it definitely helped me in that way too, and how to, you know, go on with the situation or, like, with just, like, leading in general 'cause what do you call it? So with my hopefully after I'm done with the university, I'm gonna be going and being like a PE teacher. And I know those kids and you're not gonna they're not always gonna listen to me. So, I'm gonna have to, be able to learn, know how to be like deal with them and everything. So I think the sororities definitely helped me out with this group of like ladies. If I can help with or if I can deal with them, then it can help me out for whenever I had to deal with the high schoolers.
Good luck,
Thank
'cause
God. Thank you.
these kids out here are so bad sometimes. Like, I have at my work, I had to talk to high school students to help them, do applications or FAFSA.
Mhm.
Sometimes I just you can't hit children. You
Yeah.
hit them, but it'll be great just to bop their head a little bit to you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean right there. Hey, at least, I'm doing PE, so at least, I'll be like, "Laps, bro. Keep doing laps. You wanna just be disrespectful? Laps." Not just kidding. No.
Just keep on going. You
Yeah, just keep on
and
going, bro.
this
Keep on going. No, yeah, but I feel you. Definitely too, like, growing on, like, having patience, because like you said, sometimes you're gonna get those students or, like, like you said, like, that just, sometimes they're gonna get you frustrated or, they're gonna put you in situations where you're gonna be like, "Man," like, they're gonna test your patience, and I know sometimes, within, like, the sorority, stuff like that, things can happen that also test your patience or that, like, just get you off on a bad mood, but,
Mhm.
you have to learn how to, like, okay, separate that and, like, how to go forth with it and not let those emotions, like, overrule.
Yeah. No, what's it called? Since you going into that topic, I don't know if you guys call it exactly the same way, but since our sorority is so small, I know right now we're like particularly small right now,
Mhm.
but we all are like very close. But you said there's some situations that it contradicts it, or you're gonna get frustrated. Um, we call it we separate business from friends.
Mhm.
We separate sister from sisterhood, and we learn how to change our perspective, or like I don't know how to explain it. You know what I mean? Like we changed the our side that like yes, we know each other physically. We have stuff that we can do a bunch of things together and have those memories. But when it comes to like those meeting stuff that you have to do one on one or like with the whole sorority to let them know, we had to change into our business side. And I feel like my sorority showed me a lot that I need to change as a business person,
Mhm.
to present myself personally, like when we do like meeting minutes or stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, I have to change my whole entire personality and how I am because I'm perceiving as a particular person for my sorority. And then like when somebody stepped on one of our toes, we have to be like, okay, they didn't mean it personally. This is not them attacking us. This is them giving us criticism that we need to know to grow. And of course, there's always going to be somebody that takes it too personally. We have to remind them, like, generally, like, yeah, you always have to separate business from sisterhood. Is going to be everywhere where you need to go to from your work because you're always going to have that coworker, like your coworker bestie, that you're going to be really close to. And then they're going to do exactly the same thing. They're going to step on your toes. And what are you going to do in that situation? Some
Mhm.
people don't know how to do in that situation, or they feel like they just have to leave their business because of that well, sorry, for that
You're good.
particular for that particular person because they stepped on their toes too much, or they didn't know how to address it in a professional way. And I
Mhm.
feel like my sorority in general, I don't know about others, like perceive it so perfectly well. Of course, there's going to be errors throughout, like the past or future that people are going to do because each person is different. But
Mhm.
for me, seeing it personally, I'm like, okay, this is how this is supposed to work. This is how I have to perceive myself, and this is how I'm supposed to say things professionally compared to like sisterhood that I have to like be more lean back, or there's some words I can say compared to business wise.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely, what do you call it? I feel like sometimes it's really hard sometimes, but, it's like, at least I feel like this already gives you the opportunities to, be able to, like, work it out, handle it, and if you make a mistake, within it, okay, it's like, "Okay, you made a mistake here, you took the situation the wrong way, but here you go, now you have time to fix it," you know? So, like, at least they I feel like they back you up even then, like, you fall down and make a mistake, so
Yeah, because like everybody's learning in a way that
mhm,
it's like not everybody's gonna be right. Nobody's not gonna learn more than you. Everybody's learning
mhm,
exactly the same thing. And not everybody's gonna learn exactly the same thing. And I feel like it shows a great opportunity that it's just more than a physical growth that you can do than anything else when you can come to the business wise. I don't know, like compared to other programs or organizations that they do at campus or anywhere else, but I feel like this is a place that I strive the most in.
mhm.
Of course, like public speaking, I'm still working on, but I feel like that's why I think I strive on the most when it comes to like personal emails, presenting myself. If I have to present myself as a sorority, like doing tabling, I'm
Mhm,
like, okay, do you have questions for SLA? This is what we have done. This is our model. This is what we do. These are girls right now on the majors that they're doing. Do you have any questions? If you the majors are it's not the same, we have other sisters that pass. Like it's like it's like you're not selling yourself, but you're showing what SLA, well, for my sorority,
mhm.
SLA, what it is. And basically, you're the face of the picture. So you have to put yourself as a business wise and be like, oh, you know what? This is how I am. This is how my sisters are. That I'm very cheerful. Of course, everybody's going to have those bad days, but this is how, like, overall, what we are.
Yeah. I was like, kinda too, I feel like, it's helped a lot too with I feel like with discipline, just because, like, like, let's say, like, if you take on a position or whatever, it's like, okay, you have to learn, like, it's not just you now, it's like, if you have a group that you're behind that, that they look after you or, like, you're leading this. So, I feel like it's also helped out with a lot of, like, discipline that, like, okay, I gotta get my stuff together, I can't just slack off, because I have people counting on me. So I definitely feel like also that it's helped me with discipline.
No,
But
yeah, I would agree with you on that. I don't know if you have taken an exec position. I don't know if you guys call that like a president, vice president.
mhm,
But I feel like you're right when it comes to those type of decisions because you have to plan things way ahead, or like if it's last minute you have to go to like an exact detail on what you need to do, because if you don't, not everybody's going to know and they're going to misinterpret it. And then when it comes
mhm,
to misinterpreting things, it comes like a whole chaos that you didn't even expect it to be. So it like gives you prepared, or like prepared on situations like events, because I have done events for TW, and for or helping out for TW and doing it for SLA. And it was just, if you don't do specific things or you don't do it in order in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks ahead of time, like you know what you're gonna do, what you're gonna buy, where how you're gonna sell it out, how you're gonna do the flyers. And if you
mhm.
do that so many like so many things last minute, it goes to complete chaos. Nobody goes to the events. Then you have to figure out what you're gonna do. If you're doing a fundraiser, you have to figure out where you're gonna get the money, how you're gonna sell it to like the stuff. Because I know we did a breakfast with tacos at our sorority, so we were trying to figure out how we're gonna bring people. If there's gonna be a Pacific sister, it's like, oh my god, hi, we have some tacos. Do you want some breakfast tacos? Or like we had, but it's like you have to be prepared on things that you wouldn't be expected to when you're not in a role that is like if you're doing it by yourself. It's like making your own business basically. You have to be prepared with anything when you get in a position that you have to do, and it can come good ways and bad ways, and you have to figure out what scenario you have to do and the difference.
Yeah, what do you call it? I agree. Also too with that, kind of you were talking about before, like, procrastination. I was like, it's kinda how we like, okay, and the group were like, "Hey guys, you can't procrastinate on this issue. So, I'm gonna keep you accountable, you keep me accountable too on this event, you know? If you wanted to work out, we gotta no procrastination."
No, yeah, like, do you like? I know for me, when I can't do stuff, I text like my LSs. I'm like, hey, I was like, I'm at work, but my dorm is open, and like the door's unlocked. Just be careful with my cat. I was like, can you grab this and take it to this place? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, okay, great.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause I feel like, like, you kind of build that confidence with each other, like, that trust and all that stuff, so, like, I feel like, something like that's easy. Okay, yeah, go for it, you know? Like, you don't like, doubt about it, because like, you already know who they are, you're comfortable with each other, you've been through a lot of things together, so, I feel like that's also, like, the beauty about, being, like, in a sorority, you gotta have that, well, everyone joins for different reasons, but I feel like, you gotta have that bond with people. Sometimes, yeah, I know people, they meet their BFFs, or they sometimes they even meet their soulmate,
No, yes.
And
I would
so
100% agree. Oh, sorry.
no, go for it, go for it.
No, you can go. I'm just gonna. Don't worry.
Oh, no, I was just gonna add, like
No, okay. Um, no, yeah, I would say that for sure, cause I would say for like for my big, her LSs are like the world to her. Like every event like she does or anything like that, she like FaceTimes them all the time. There's no like she be telling me stories and I see it because like my mama Eagle is one of her LSs as well. And like I see it so much that they're the type of people that would do anything for each other. Like they're like already sisters. Like yes, they're sisters, but like sisters, like they're sister bonded. And I loved
Mhm,
it so much, and I can see it with my LSS as well, in cases like that. And I feel like that's like a bond that you can't really do. Like you can do, but it's different when you're in a sorority.
mhm. I feel you about that. Just there's something special about it. Like, honestly, what do you call what would you say is, like, one of your, like, I guess talking about this, like, what's one of your favorite, like, memories that you have like, some of your sisters that you're like, "Oh, this one right here is, like, one of my top notches," or
Uh,
moments?
I don't know. There's so many. I'm trying to think. I guess like when we are doing like a sister event, oh, I was sick. I had the flu. I didn't know I had the flu at that moment,
Oh.
but I had the flu, and all of them were like worried about me, and I was like, "No, you're good." But we had to all sleep over, and it was like Valentine's theme, and we had like a gift exchange. It was so cute. The person who got me gave me a plushie of
Aw.
Winnie the Pooh. I love Winnie the Pooh and the characters, Piglet, Eeyore. Like if you give me anything of that, bro, you're gonna be like even something small. I was so happy. I started screaming. I'm like, oh my god! I was like, look! I was like, look at this! What I got! I was like, this is what I wanted. This is the plushie that I wanted, and everybody's like,
They
they
how
know
do they
it so well. Like that, and then on top of that, like we did a bunch of games that we opened each other up. Like one of my sisters, Jess, she had like a card game that there's different levels of questions how to get to know somebody, and there are some questions that are like you have to open up more and answer this question truthfully,
Mhm,
and it got us more closer than what we thought. We knew each other. Like there's some instances like you're not going to know everything from one person. They're going to
mhm,
show you some sides that they don't want to show you, but when it comes to questions like that, it gives them the opportunity to open a little bit more that you didn't see them. And I
mhm,
was really grateful that I saw that, and I think that opened us our bond even closer. And then on top of that, I couldn't go, but I was sleeping and hearing them. They were having a blast. But like
aw.
3 or 4 in the morning, every like four sisters, or I know it was Rebecca, Grace, Bree, and I think Nancy decided to go to Bucky's, and they're like, "Have fun," and they're like, okay. Because, like, of course, I was sleeping and some other sisters were sleeping because we were knocked out. It's like 3 or 4 in the morning. We're not trying to get awake. And they're like, no, we're going to stay all up and do all nighters. And we're going to watch movies and listen to music. And I'm like, I'm just sleeping and hearing from the background. I'm like, okay, go, 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 girl. Like, go. You got this. And I hear them coming back. They're like, yeah, it was so much fun, this and this. I think they said it was snowing at one point because it was like in the winter.
Okay.
January at that time, if I'm right, January or February. We did the Valentine thing a little bit earlier because everybody goes in their different ways when it comes to that some days.
Mhm.
And I was like snowing. I was like, oh no, no. I was like that. It means it's gonna snow more the next day. And then I woken up and everybody's like, okay, they're eating chips. And I was like, okay, I'll go back to sleep. And then when I woke up the next morning, the girls who went out dead asleep on the floor, knocked out. And I was like, I wonder why they're so sleepy.
Like, they must have slept really early.
And then on top of that, like I know my LSs were there as well. And they're the ones who stayed up and I did it. We had to do a tabling. No, that was a different time. Never mind. But yeah, like I remember waking up and then I was like, I could never, and then I went back to sleep. I would say that's one of my favorite memories for sure.
Like, "Let me go back to sleep real quick." Oh,
What about
nice.
you?
What about me? See, let me see. Should I try to think of one? It's appropriate, not honestly, I guess I'd say, I think that what was the my brain's like, "What? What was the question again?"
What was your favorite memory with your sisters?
Okay, my favorite memory, um, I would say it would be, like, kinda like you're saying, like, the times whenever, like, you're kinda more vulnerable with each other, I feel like that would be, like, one of my favorite memories, like, there's been different times that I've been with, like, different sisters and, like, they've been vulnerable, like, we've opened up about each other or, like, about certain things, and I feel like that, that shows, like, a lot just well, at least for me, I'm not very, like, open, like, with a lot about myself, and so, like, being able to, like, find someone, like, "Okay, bond over, like, this or that," and just to, like, just be in a safe space to be vulnerable. I think, like, that's different, like, for me, like, a A plus for it, no matter it can be, "Hey, let's grab some pizza, watch some movies, and then, talk," or, bond that way, or, "Hey, let's go over here," and then, bond over here and talk about this or that, so I think definitely, like, those times when you're open the words.
Yeah,
Whenever you open up and to yourself and be vulnerable with each other, like, I would say those would be
like the best times that you've
yeah.
ever. I feel like generally, like these memories that like everybody makes in Greek life is going to stick with them. Every time you're going to think about college, you're going to
Mhm.
think about what you did, what times that you have done, struggles and everything, but you're going to remember like, oh, I had my sorority or I had my fraternity. I made memories with them. If I didn't like join, it would be a completely different story. Or I
Mhm.
don't meet these people at all.
That's true. Sorry, I had to burp real quick.
You're good.
Okay. I had ice cream beforehand, so it's, like, coming back at me.
No, you're good.
No, yeah, like I said, um, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of different orgs you can join, whenever you're in the university and all that stuff, but I don't know, I feel like there's something special about, like, sororities and fraternities, like, when you join them. And, I think too, like, everyone kinda makes the most out of their experience. It's up to you, like, if you wanna make how you wanna make your experience in the sorority, Do you wanna
Mhm.
make it a good one, a bad one? You know, do you want to change or, like, do you wanna, like, improve on yourself? Like, I know some people who, like, I've seen them change throughout, like, my time of being with, like, my sisters, and then they're like, "Oh, wow, I never thought, I would be like this or that," or, like, they just, like, open up and, like, their personality just, like, flourishes out, and it's like, "Oh, like, I didn't know I was capable of doing this or that," you know? So it's nice to be able to, um my brain is, like, scatterbrain. What was I saying?
Good.
It's just, like, nice to be able to see how, like, sometimes people don't realize how much they've changed, but, like, you from the outside, you can see, like, oh, like, trusting homegirl, like, I know when you first joined, like, you were this, you were quiet, like, you couldn't say a speech or whatever, and it's like, now it's like, wow, like, look at you, like, you're over here doing all these speeches, over here leading this meeting. So I think it's really nice to be able to see, like, that change, like, not just within yourself, but also too with your other sisters.
No, yeah, it's like funny because when you tell them like you completely changed, they're like, no. They try to deny it. They're like, no, like I was like this the whole entire time. You're like, you gave them like the side eye. You were like, really? You sure? Like, I was like, let me find evidence real quick.
Yeah, when's the first time? Do you remember this? Nah.
Let
Remember
me
this
show.
conversation?
No, yeah, I would say that for sure. I feel like you want to make your sisters grow no matter what. Like they're the type of person like even though you may not be close to them. I know for me, uh I know there's some sisters have told me since when SLA was a little bit more bigger than now, they said there's always going to be a no lies. That's a quote. um, I have a sister that always told me that we might not be all friends, but we want us to grow individually and grow more than what we want for each other. Even
Mhm,
though we may not like each other at that moment, or we don't like each other because our personality does not match, it doesn't mean that we want each other to grow. And that's what we're trying to do at the point, and that's why we joined a sorority or this particular sorority for us to
mhm,
grow long term, not short term or not to grow at all. Like we want to put ourselves in uncomfortable positions that we might not think we can take it on, but there's always going to be a sister, or always going to be the person that's going to comfort you, to guide you where you need to go to, so you don't fall back so hard, if that makes sense.
mhm. Yes. Sorry, I'm, like, fixing myself. No,
Mhm.
yeah, I agree. I feel like, every, well, I would say every sorority has, like when you join one, like, there's always someone there for it, like, someone there for you. It may not be everyone, but it's always like, you have those people that, like, okay, yeah, like they have me. I know, this person has me. And like I said, I mean, I bet if you ask your story, like, how much have I changed? They'd probably be like, oh, here's the list, homegirl, of everything that you're like,
No.
before you never did this, that. So I think it's nice to see that growth side of what comes with the sorority aspect.
No, yeah. Since we are getting into that 30-minute mark, do you want to try to close up or
Yeah, I'm down.
we didn't thought about how we're gonna close it too.
We're just like here, like, okay,
Oh,
yeah.
no, we're just eyeballing it, guys.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? We gotta add these little like mini episodes too instead of the hours long. So
Or we can do like the behind the scenes.
behind the scenes. Do. Well, we literally practice so many times.
No, that would have been so good too. Be like, okay, guys, and then like beep, and then we kept on going. Mess up, beep. We should do
Action.
that. She's like, ready, go.
Go. But yes, we will be wrapping it up. And um there's no one live, but
Don't forget to comment and like the video. If you have any questions, just put it on below. Hopefully, I don't know if we're gonna do this soon or now, but we're gonna have a question box. So if you guys want to have some questions that for us that we can answer personally, and we can put it in our podcast. We can do it as a one episode that we answer all you guys' questions and put our point of view in it, or we can also have also a surprise guest that you guys would like to bring, and also we will might later on in the future we will bring a surprise guest as well.
yes. And don't be afraid. Go nominate, your brother, your sister, your siblings. Be like, hey, you should be a guest at this podcast.
Yeah,
Nominate them. Send them our way.
don't be shy. Get out of your comfort zone.
Exactly. All right, have a good one, everybody.
Bye.